Hey guys, we are back with the Creepiest Lost Cartoon episodes, part 7. We have got one more episode after part 7, and that'll be the end of the series. But in this episode, I want you guys to leave down in the comments, what should I do for my first video of the plush toy adventures? I'm having a really hard time thinking of what I should do. I've been actually thinking about it for the past days that I've been off. But I was thinking maybe Sonic goes to school. I don't know, just anything. That don't matter to me. Before we start this video, viewer discretion is advised, so, hang on, let me check if my camera's still running. Yep, it's good. Okay, viewer discretion is advised, and, if you are a young viewer, I would not recommend watching this video. Without further ado, though, let's get on with this video.
Welcome back to the Creepiest Lost Cartoon Episode series. In these videos, I tell some lost episode stories that people have created online. Keep in mind, these are fictional creepypastas and aren't legitimate episodes, but they can still be pretty entertaining to read. If you're a really young viewer, you might be disturbed by the violence in these stories, so continue watching at your own discretion. With all that being said, let's get on to the lost episodes. First up is a lost cartoon episode entitled Goodbye SpongeBob. The narrator of the story said they went on YouTube to search for SpongeBob episodes, but came across one with a very weird title of Goodbye SpongeBob Lost Episode. They decided to click it, and after a few minutes the episode finally began. It started with the normal theme song that you'd expect, but the title card had an ominous feel to it. SpongeBob was watching TV when all of a sudden there was a knock on the door. Patrick walked in and claimed that Sandy had died in a plane crash because of a drunk pilot. SpongeBob laughed and treated it like a joke, but Patrick confirmed that she was actually dead. SpongeBob immediately started crying and ran to his bedroom where he could be alone with his thoughts. There's a next day time card that pops up, then we see all the main characters at a funeral. A loud static sound could be heard during the scene, so it was hard to understand exactly what the characters were saying. Then the episode cuts to a shot of Sandy's corpse as blood covers her entire body. 25 seconds of a black screen later, we see SpongeBob sitting at his desk in his house writing something down. Without Sandy in my life, I am nothing. She made me and Patrick what we are today, and I'm thankful for her. But now, with her dead, I just have no purpose in my life. I cannot live without Sandy. If she is dead, then I want to be dead. Goodbye, people. I am really sorry if I'm hurting anyone for doing this, but I can't just live like this without Sandy. If anyone finds this note, then I am long gone dead. Goodbye, cruel world. Complete silence fills the room as SpongeBob says farewell to everything. The scene cuts to a rope hanging from the ceiling as he brings the noose around his neck, standing up on a stool. He sighs, then kicks the stool under him. SpongeBob dies instantly, and there are no more sound effects in the scene. Blood oozes out of his holes, spilling on the floor and drenching it in a dark red nightmare. Creepy images flashed onto the screen rapidly, and on the bottom was text that said, "RIP SpongeBob." According to the narrator of the story, this YouTube video was taken down shortly after viewing due to a copyright claim by Viacom. The file has never been found to this day. The next lost episode I'll be talking about is called Dora's Real Life. The narrator is a mom who got a Dora DVD for her daughter entitled Dora the Explorer.
Before we continue on with this, if you were a viewer, say under 7 years old, please don't watch this video. No, don't watch. I didn't say watch this. Please don't watch this portion of the video because this might ruin your whole outlook on Dora.
Map Adventures. Her daughter was extremely disturbed after watching this, so the mom watches it herself to see what happened. This DVD started with the Paramount logo, then it showed the Nick Jr. logo, but instead of the normal kid-friendly appearance, the orange Nick was beating up the blue Jr. mercilessly, then the Dora theme song started, and a few things were pretty different. There was an arts and crafts table saying in Spanish, "I have no one to talk to. Help me." The Dora computer game only had Dora herself, and she looked extremely depressed as she pretended to smile. After this weird theme song, we see Dora and a rusty house and she turns to the screen to enthusiastically greet the viewer. A plush monkey says, "And I'm Boots." Dora continued talking to the audience and said that she needs help to get to the big city. She used the map and walked to a troll bridge. A homeless man is seen at this bridge as he requests money from Dora. However, Dora simply calls him a grumpy old troll and asks what his riddle is. The man questions why she does this to him every day, but she ignores him and jumps over the bridge. Next up, she asks the map where the spooky forest is, leading her to polluted streets with graffiti and gang members around. Dora says, "We made it to the spooky forest. Be careful, there can be spooky bats and witches." Then a man comes up and tells Dora he's going to cut her throat, but Dora says, "Swiper, no swiping." However, after saying that, this man shoved Dora and her Boots doll. She fell as her knees were gushing with blood from scraping the concrete. After all this, Dora said in Spanish that she was so alone and she questioned if she should end it all. When she and Boots finally got to the big city, she said in a depressed voice that she made it to the big city, and the song wasn't the typical happy "we did it" song that appears in a normal episode. The screen went black, then it went to a 23 days later time card. Fading to a forest, we see on a tree that there is a decayed Dora, intestines dangled in a grotesquely real fashion. Her eyes were gouged out, her fingers were blue, and blood covered the entire tree. A note here said in Spanish, "The Lord has saved me from this horrible place by making me commit suicide. Suicide is your escape." Finally, let's talk about a Thomas the Tank Engine creepypasta called Thomas and the Children. The narrator of the story popped in a DVD called Thomas and the Children, and there was no main menu that you'd expect to find on every other DVD. The episode began as Thomas had to take some kids to the seaside by the instructions of Sir Topham Hatt. Thomas picked up little wooden children, and we see all of them climbing on board, and then there was a scene with him zooming down the rails and the children having a good time. But up ahead, Bertie the bus was stuck on the railway track, moaning for someone to help him. Bertie stared at Thomas, but Thomas just smiled and started going much faster. He laughed, yet the kids were crying and tears came down from their wooden faces. Immediately, Thomas crashed into Bertie and pieces from both of them flew everywhere. We see brief shots of the wooden children, their heads ripped off, blood splattered everywhere, and tears were still painted onto their faces. At this point in the episode, static covered the entire screen and it was impossible to see what happened with Thomas. There were various disturbing messages like kill, obey, multiply, and die. These messages went on for more than an hour, but static still played and nothing more was seen in the actual episode. The fates of all the characters are unknown from the crash, but it seems likely that everyone, Bertie, Thomas, the children, have died. But anyway, that's all for this video. Subscribe for more awesome cartoon videos.
I probably should have warned younger viewers about that one too, but I'm sure I'm sure kids who may start watching me ain't gonna be under 6, maybe even 5 years old. I at least hope so anyway. But, this is part 7, and I will be doing part 8, and it's the last video of the series. Leave down in the comments if you have heard any of these other creepypasta, or any of these creepypasta or creepiest lost episodes. And also leave down in the comments if you have ever heard of any other versions of these lost creepy episodes, lost cartoon episodes. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye.